The email arrived on a Thursday afternoon. URGENT, loan default notice, Westchester property, $500,000. I opened it out of routine. As CEO of Morrison Capital Group, I reviewed all major loan defaults personally. But when I saw the borrower's name, I stopped breathing. Amanda Morrison Sterling, my daughter. I read through the details. $500,000 in debt across multiple loans. The primary mortgage on her Westchester estate, 3 months behind. A business loan for her boutique that hadn't made a payment in 6 months. Credit cards maxed out. A home equity line of credit drained dry. My daughter, who told everyone I was too poor to help her with anything, owed my company $500,000. And she had no idea I owned the bank. I picked up my phone and called my head of collections. David, the Morrison Sterling account. I want a full forensic review. And schedule a meeting with the borrowers. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Ma'am, tomorrow's Friday. They might need more notice. Tomorrow, David, make it happen. I haven't spoken to Amanda in 3 years, not since her wedding to Christopher Sterling, son of the Sterling Hotel Empire, where I wasn't allowed to sit with the family. I was relegated to the back of the venue, introduced to no one, and dismissed before dinner service. My mother's circumstances are modest. I'd overheard Amanda tell Christopher's parents. She lives very simply. I try to help her when I can, but she's proud, refuses assistance. I'd driven home that night in my 10-year-old Camry, the car I kept for daily errands, and hadn't reached out since. If Amanda wanted to believe I was poor, let her believe it. But now, sitting in my corner office overlooking downtown, reviewing her financial catastrophe, I realized her lies had caught up to her. And I was about to catch up to her lies. Friday morning, 10 a.m. Amanda and Christopher arrived at Morrison Capital Group headquarters, the building I'd owned for 15 years, the company I'd built from nothing after my husband died, leaving me with a toddler and $50,000 in life insurance. I watched them on the security monitors as they entered the lobby, Amanda in a designer dress that probably cost $5,000, Christopher in a bespoke suit, both of them carrying the confidence of people who'd never truly struggled. My assistant buzzed. Ms. Morrison, the Sterlings are here. Conference room B, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I gave them time to settle in to get nervous. Then I walked down the hall, my practical pumps clicking against the marble floors, carrying the file that contained their financial destruction. I opened the conference room door. Amanda's face went white. Mom? Christopher looked confused. Amanda, why is your mother here? I closed the door behind me and sat at the head of the table. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling, thank you for coming. I'm Rebecca Morrison, CEO of Morrison Capital Group. We're here to discuss your outstanding debt of $547,382. Wait, Christopher said slowly. Morrison Capital Group, you own this company? I founded it 28 years ago. We hold $2.3 billion in assets under management. Your loans represent a small portion of our portfolio, but defaults of this magnitude require personal attention. Amanda couldn't seem to form words. Now, I continued, opening the file, let's review your situation. Your primary residence, the Westchester estate purchased for $2.8 million 3 years ago, is 3 months behind on payments. That's $47,000 in arrears. Your boutique, Sterling Style, has a business loan of $300,000 that hasn't received a payment in 6 months. Various credit cards and lines of credit total another $200,000. All told, you're in default on over $500,000. There's been a mistake, Christopher said, his voice tight. We have the money. There was a bank error. There was no bank error, Mr. Sterling. You're broke. Amanda found her voice. You can't talk to us like that. We're borrowers who defaulted on loans with my institution. I can talk to you exactly like that. I pulled out another document. According to our investigation, you've been maintaining a lifestyle well beyond your means for the past 2 years. The boutique loses $40,000 a month. Your house costs $16,000 monthly to maintain. Your cars, your club memberships, your shopping habits. You spend approximately $75,000 a month while earning less than $30,000. Christopher's face had gone red. This is humiliating. Amanda, you said your mother was poor. That she couldn't possibly understand business or finance. I am poor, Amanda insisted, looking at me desperately. You drive that old car, you live in that tiny apartment, you shop at discount stores. I drive a 2014 Camry for daily errands because it's practical. I also own a Mercedes S-Class and a vintage Jaguar, both kept in my private garage. I live in a modest 2-bedroom apartment downtown because I prefer it. I also own a 5-bedroom house in Connecticut, a beach house in the Hamptons, and a condo in Manhattan that I use for business. The room went silent. As for shopping at discount stores, I continued, I find excellent value there. But I also have accounts at Bergdorf Goodman and Saks. I simply don't need to announce my purchases to feel validated. Your worth. Amanda couldn't finish. Approximately $50 million. Give or take a few million depending on market conditions. I turned to the next page. Which brings us to your current situation. You owe my company over $500,000. You have 30 days before we begin foreclosure proceedings on your house and repossession of your assets. You can't do that, Christopher said. My father has connections. Political connections. We'll fight this. Your father already tried. He called yesterday after receiving our notice. I explained the situation. He declined to help you. Christopher went pale. That's impossible. My father would never. Your father is tired of bailing you out. This is the third business venture you failed at, Mr. Sterling. He told me, and I quote, maybe it's time Christopher learns the consequences of his choices. Amanda was crying now. Mom, please. We'll lose everything. The house, the boutique, our cars. You'll lose the things you couldn't afford in the first place. The things you bought to impress people who don't actually care about you. But everyone will know. The Sterling family, our friends, the country club. Everyone will know that you live beyond your means and face the consequences. Yes, I folded my hands. Much like everyone at your wedding knew you were ashamed of your poor mother who didn't belong in their world. I never said that. You absolutely did, Amanda. You told the Sterlings I was too poor to help with the wedding. Too simple to understand high society. You seated me in the back like an embarrassment. You introduced me to no one. You made it clear I didn't belong in your new life. Christopher looked at his wife. You told me your mother was struggling, that she could barely afford her rent, that you sent her money when you called. You sent me money? I almost laughed. Amanda, I returned every check. Every single one. Did you never notice they were never cashed? I thought you were too proud to accept help. I didn't need help. I needed a daughter who wasn't ashamed of me. Amanda broke down completely. I was ashamed, okay? I admit it. Christopher's family has generational wealth, estates, trust funds, legacy. And my mother drove a Camry and lived in an apartment and wore clothes from TJ Maxx. I was embarrassed. So you lied. So I lied, she whispered. I told everyone you were poor, that I came from nothing, that I was self-made. It made my success seem more impressive. Except you're not successful, I said quietly. You're $500,000 in debt with no way to pay it back. That's not success, Amanda. That's failure dressed up in designer clothes. Christopher stood abruptly. This is pointless. We'll hire lawyers. Fight the foreclosure. My family knows people. Your family already knows people, Mr. Sterling. They know me. Your father and I have done business together for years. The Sterling Hotel Corporation banks with Morrison Capital Group has for a decade. He sat down slowly. You're our bank. I'm your family's primary lender. $300 million in corporate credit lines. Your father's been a valued client. I paused. He was quite surprised to learn his son was married to my daughter, especially after Amanda told him I was too poor to attend family functions. Oh God, Amanda whispered. Does he know? Does the whole family know? Not yet, but they will when the foreclosure proceedings become public record. These things tend to make the society pages. Please, Amanda begged. Don't do this. I'll do anything. I'll tell everyone the truth. I'll apologize publicly. Oh, you'll face the consequences of your choices, I interrupted, just like everyone else who defaults on a loan. But I'm your daughter. Yes, you are, which is why this is so disappointing. I stood up. You have 30 days. Either pay the full amount due or we proceed with foreclosure and asset seizure. Those are your options. We don't have $500,000, Christopher said flatly. Even if we sold everything, we couldn't cover it. Then you'll lose everything. I walked toward the door, then paused. Amanda, you could have asked me for help any time in the past 3 years. I would have advised you against over-leveraging yourselves. I would have explained basic financial planning. I would have helped you build something real instead of this house of cards. But I thought you couldn't help. I thought you were poor. You thought what was convenient to believe. Because the That your mother was successful, wealthy, and accomplished didn't fit the narrative you wanted to tell. I left them sitting in that conference room and returned to my office. 24 hours later, Amanda showed up at my apartment, the modest 2-bedroom downtown that she'd always seen as evidence of my poverty. "Mom, can we talk?" I let her in. She looked around at the simple furniture, the minimal decorations, the lack of obvious wealth. "I don't understand," she said. "If you're worth $50 million, why do you live like this?" "Because I'm comfortable here. Because I don't need to prove anything. Because unlike you, I know the difference between wealth and worth." She sank onto my couch. "I've ruined everything. My marriage, my business, my reputation. Christopher's family is furious. His father called him a disappointment. His mother won't take my calls. And you came here because you're the only person who might help me, even though I don't deserve it. Even though I was horrible to you." She looked up with red eyes. "Mom, I'm so sorry. For everything. For being ashamed of you. For lying about you. For treating you like you were less than everyone else when you're actually more successful than all of them. Apology noted." "That's it? Just apology noted? What do you want me to say, Amanda? That it's okay? It's not. You hurt me. You denied me. You made me feel unwelcome at your wedding, the most important day of your life, because I didn't fit your image of what a mother should be. I was wrong. I was so wrong." "Yes, you were." I sat across from her. "But here's what you still don't understand. I didn't build my wealth to impress people. I built it to have security, to help others, to make a difference. The money is a tool, not an identity. You see wealth as something to display. I see it as something to deploy. I don't know how to fix this." "You can't. Not immediately. You've made choices that have consequences. The foreclosure will proceed. You'll lose the house, the boutique, probably your marriage based on how Christopher looked at you in that meeting. So you're just going to let me lose everything? I'm going to let you face reality. For the first time in years, you're going to have to live within your actual means. Work a real job. Build something genuine." I leaned forward. "Amanda, this is the best thing that could happen to you. Losing everything is the best thing. Losing the facade is the best thing. The house you couldn't afford, the business that was failing, the lifestyle that was bankrupting you, none of that was real. It was all pretend. Now you get to start over with truth instead of fiction." She was quiet for a long time. "Will you help me?" "What kind of help are you asking for?" "I don't know. Advice? Support? Maybe a loan too." "No loans, no bailouts, no rescuing you from your choices." "Then what?" "I'll help you find a job, a real job, something in your skill set. I'll help you find an apartment you can actually afford. I'll teach you financial planning, budgeting, living within your means. But I won't solve this problem for you. You have to do that yourself." "Why? If you have $50 million, why not just pay off the debt?" "Because that would teach you nothing. You just make the same mistakes again. The only way you learn is by climbing out of this hole yourself." Amanda started crying again. "I don't know how." "Yes, you do. You're smart, capable, and resilient. You just forgot because you were too busy pretending to be something you're not." I handed her a tissue. "The woman I raised could handle this. The question is whether she's still in there under all the designer labels and false pride. I want to be that woman again. Then be her. Starting now." The foreclosure proceeded. Amanda and Christopher lost the house, the boutique, and most of their assets. Christopher's parents insisted on an annulment, which turned into a bitter divorce. The society pages did indeed cover the fall of the Sterling's newest family member. But something unexpected happened. Amanda got a job as a junior account manager at a small marketing firm. She moved into a 1-bedroom apartment in Queens. She started taking the subway. She shopped at the discount stores she'd once mocked. And every Sunday, she had dinner with me at my apartment. 6 months after the foreclosure, she arrived for dinner with an envelope. "What's this?" I asked. "Open it." Inside was a check for $5,000. "Amanda, it's the first payment on the debt. It'll take me years to pay back $500,000, but I'm going to do it. Every month, $5,000 until it's gone." "You don't have to." "Yes, I do. Not because of the money, because of the principle. I took something that wasn't mine, your company's money, and I need to pay it back. That's what people with integrity do." I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. No designer dress. No professional blowout. No fake smile hiding insecurity. Just Amanda. Real, genuine Amanda. "I'm proud of you," I said. Really? Really? Not because of the check, because you're finally becoming the person you were meant to be. She smiled, a real smile this time. I'm learning from the best. My mom, the secret millionaire who taught me that wealth isn't about what you show, it's about what you build and what you give back. That too. We had dinner, homemade pasta, nothing fancy, and talked about her job, her tiny apartment, her new life built on truth instead of pretense. As she left that evening, she hugged me tight. Mom, can I ask you something? Of course. When I told everyone you were poor, when I was so ashamed, did you ever think about telling me the truth? About exposing me? Every day. Why didn't you? Because I wanted you to learn this lesson yourself. I wanted you to hit bottom and realize that the things you thought mattered, the image, the status, the approval of people who don't really know you, none of it was real. I wanted you to discover what was real. And what's that? That your worth isn't in your bank account. It's in your character, in how you treat people, in whether you build something genuine or something fake. I touched her cheek. You built something fake, Amanda. It collapsed. Now you're building something real. That's worth more than all the money in the world. She nodded, eyes wet. I love you, Mom. I love you too, sweetheart. I always have. Even when you were too ashamed to love me back. After she left, I sat in my modest apartment, the one that had convinced my daughter I was poor, and smiled. Because the truth was finally out. Not that I was worth $50 million, but that I was worth knowing. And my daughter had finally figured out the difference.